But right now, it appears like it's you and me, Maud. You and me. Oh, you have a friend. Thanks for bringing company, Maud. And appreciate you being there. I'll let people arrive before I get to the question. But tonight, I have a question. I have a question. I don't feel that I really need help on this, but I would like to bring it to the surface so that people can see what I'm talking about. Because this question may not have an answer, but it may. And that's why I want to ask it. Well, anyway, man, let me beat around the bush for a minute. Let's see, man, what's going on? Me and Puppy were outside. I mean, I guess that was cool. Took our walk for the day and so on and so forth. But I was reached the other night. I guess that was 3 nights ago. Hey, Watcher, man. Man, glad you're here. How you doing, man? Glad you made it. So there's 3 people here, 4 including me. But I did just throw it up really quick because just kind of wanted to get it out there. Hey, BS, what's going on, dude? Glad you made 6 people. Holy crap. Man, it like doubled like that. Hey, if you're watching this, because I did put it up really quick, if you could share, that would be positively stunning and amazing for me. It would just blow my mind right out, Just share it, so friends, neighbors, family, puppy dogs can get their hands on it and view it as well. All right, well, 7 people. You know what? I'll begin. If anybody else shows up, and I'm sure they will, they can go back and rehash it at a later time. Here is my issue. I was reached the other night by Greeno, who has time to message me, but not to reply on Facebook, not to call me. He's editing. He's in house arrest. He's calling other people, but he don't have time to fucking answer me. Bothers me. It really does. Bothers me highly. So he says to me, because you see, my theory is that the suspect, let me see, we'll put suspect here, right here, was on the south side of the bridge. This is what I assert after looking at it over a long time. Now, I say it for this reason, and I'm going to explain my reasoning. I have a timeline, which is on my computer but lost. Don't know how to explain that. It is on my computer, though, and can be found. But it goes like this. The way that I look at it, if he's on the south side of the bridge, when Libby takes Abby's picture, it's 2:07. He's nowhere in the background. Let me pull up Monon High Bridge. This is the bridge right here. Right from here, starting over here, going all the way to here. 800 and some feet across, really big. Now, at 12:30 p.m., the suspect was seen right here by the lady that lived here, that was walking her dogs, that liked to take this little trail. It's not really a walk trail. It's where the tracks used to be. Now, the dogs came up to the guy standing here on the south side of the bridge, right there. Okay. And the lady walked up, and her and the suspect talked for a couple of minutes. Beautiful day out, It's, oh, yeah, great day. I'm just out here looking over the trail. Whoa, couple of minutes, right? Now, at 2:07 on this platform, Libby takes Abby's picture. Now, Abby was right to her front here, and the picture was taken back this way where you could see this hillside and the trail back to here where it bends, right there. Now, there was nobody in that picture of Abby. Nobody in the background. No one. No one. Nothing at all. Greeno told me that the tape revealed, because he talked to somebody that's very close to this case, that the girls were walking to the south side of the bridge here, and I guess that they were clear down at the end, and one says, is that creepy guy still following us? And the other says, yes, he's getting on the bridge now. Well, where do we go? Well, nowhere. The trail ends here on the south side of the bridge. Well, I happen to know that one of the girls lived right here on the south side of the bridge. Not saying where, but had lived on the south side of the bridge and probably knew all of these people here, at least knew of them. Well, here's my words on this. The trail does not end here on the south side of the bridge. The trail ends here at the north side of the bridge. And I'm going to show you how I know that. Here's the video of Flannel Shirt Guy.
A little bit beyond, and then a big distance from the bridge and starts the railroad property. People go out there, but it's still owned by the railroad.
The bridge is owned by the railroad, and it was never a part of the trail. It was never a part of the trail. Now, if the suspect was on the north side, how would they know that he was creepy? One, did he talk to him and they thought he was creepy? Because I know that the suspect showed up that day to commit these actions. And if he was there and the girls were on the north side, he wouldn't have had him go across the bridge and then go over. He would have abducted him on the north side, took him over, and not even had to cross the creek. You see where I'm at? Now, let me go back to the map here. Now, if, at the very minimum, if he was right here, because I already did the walkthrough, if he was right behind that bend, and he had to walk from there all the way to the end of this bridge here, that takes 8 minutes. Minimally 8 minutes. That's if he was right there and no further back, 8 minutes. Well, at 2:07, if he was on the south side of the bridge, walked out, walked him back over to the crime scene, 22 minutes at the crime scene. Exactly 22 minutes over here before he had to walk out, and I timed it, to get back to the 501 trail here. Now, when he got to the 501 trail there, Cheyenne was already at the bridge, and he started walking this way and passed Flannel Shirt Guy, the guy you just heard talking, at 2:47. That gives exactly, minus walk time, 22 minutes at the crime scene, if he was on the south side of the bridge. Now, if you minus 8 minutes walk time off of that, plus, and there's also more time to be minus because the creek was way up. It was flooded. If you watch where the rescue people were looking for him the next day, they're up to their waist. It's going to take a little bit of time and effort to cross that creek when it's that deep. This gives approximately 10 to 12 minutes at the crime scene. 10 to 12 minutes at the crime scene. Now, we know that the bodies were brutalized, murdered, brutalized, disrobed. I believe that the bodies were posed and the crime scene was staged with amounts of physical evidence. I don't think that that can be done in 10 to 12 minutes. Secondly, I'm going to say this. Why would they have it on video record when they wasn't video recording anything? They had never recorded anything prior while they was hiking. Why would they suddenly click it on at the end of the bridge and ask about a creepy guy? Apparently they must have seen him and thought he was creepy. Whereas I say if they had seen him on the north side, he would have abducted on the north side. If he had abducted him on the north side, here's how it would have went. If he abducted him here, he could have walked him right to where he wanted to go and left in the same way. Left back exactly the same way. He didn't have to allow him to go down to the bridge. He didn't know they were going to cross the bridge. So if they seen him, why would they call him creepy? Why did they have it on video record already? Now, I have heard the comments many times about this. Oh, they was just talking and said, oh, this is the end of the trail. Well, it's not the end of the trail. The end of the trail was on the other side of the bridge, far back behind them. Now, I don't think everything like that could be done in 10 or 12 minutes. I really don't. I honestly don't. And lastly, I'm going to say this. If anybody that was allowed to hear any of that audio, law enforcement would have debriefed them with these words. What's on this audio is evidence. We're going to ask you not to discuss any of it, anything that you've heard with anybody. Now, that is my question. Which side of the bridge was he on? My side, on the south side, he has 22 minutes, which is still pretty short for everything that was done. But that is the time that it had to be done in. Had to be, because we have a timestamp of everything. 22 minutes was the time that I have. 10 to 12 minutes, I don't think that there was enough time to accomplish everything that needed done and leave. That's me. That is like driving up here for a couple of minutes and hitting the road. I'm just not thinking that it was done like that. If anybody has any questions on that, please contact me. You can put it in the comments if you like. Hold on. I'll throw my email up here. Nobody really emails me. You know, nobody ever does. Nobody ever emails. I throw it up there, and yet nobody emails, man. I don't know. Kind of pain in my backside, but oh well. Not well, people still email. I'm not saying like nobody does, but it's generally with same questions. Nobody ever gets a hold of me and says anything really cool, like, hey, man, how's puppy today, man? I mean, is he feeling good? Did you take him out? Nobody ever says any crap like that. So has anybody got any questions? Comments? No? Nothing? Well, you know what's good about having somebody around is you can kind of bounce ideas off of them. I do this with YouTube. I do this with you. You know, kind of let you guys see what's going on, man. Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Hang on, man. Let me go find it, watcher. The lady that was walking her dogs was there when Carrie, I don't think her last name is German. I think that they got a divorce since then. But it was Liberty's mother was speaking over at the courthouse, and that was right at the first year press conference, right after the first year press conference. She came over and she told us who she was. She said, yeah, I'm the lady that had seen the guy. You know, well, the only thing that was really on people's minds at that time is it Daniel Nations? He was the high person of interest at that time. So we had asked about that. She says, I can't say anything about it. Nothing. Nada. Now, this is what tells me, oh, Timmons, you're right. You're absolutely right. Thank you very much. It is Timmons. My bad. That is her last name now. That she could not speak anything about it. Nothing. You know, what the guy looked like, anything, nothing. You know, that was between her and law enforcement. And I'm positive she was told, don't say shit to anybody. So she really couldn't say anything further about the guy. But that's where we met her. We only met her the one time. She had moved. She was reluctant to go to cops because she knew that she had talked to the guy. She knew that that guy knew where she lived. And she didn't want that guy, being a brutal murderer, to go to her house and kill her. So she was kind of reluctant to go to law enforcement and give details on the man's face. She has since moved from that area, you know, from that house. I guess it might be because of that. I don't really know, though, exactly, but I'm pretty sure that would be a good reason. Yes, I do now. Absolutely. They do. They know who did it. They know the make and the model of the car now by a long shot. Have for a long time. You would have to ask law enforcement, but I can tell you this: where they were is where we're happened at. Hey, Katie, how you doing? Before. She saw him on the south side of the bridge at 12:30 p.m. The murders didn't happen until probably in an area of about 2:30. Actually, maybe even earlier than that. I mean, I got the time stamp on that, but hey, Michelle, how you doing? Oh, Watcher's Got channel? Right on. Man, I'll go check out your channel, Watcher. That's cool, man. They did. They did. If you're talking about the lady walking her dogs, but now that right there is secret. Kim Riley said she. Okay, and then he tried to backtrack and cover from saying she because he wasn't supposed to say she. And then he says, well, I'm talking about a person that has like helped with the investigation, helped us with our investigation. And now that was at a press conference. Now, somebody asked me the other day if I had the Lost Holman tape. Depends. I got 2 tapes, interviews with Holman, but I don't know if that's the lost one. I have the one that was taken 4 months after. That was 4 months after the crime, but it's still on YouTube, so it's not lost. I have another one, and I know that there was one, and that might be the other one that I have, where he was talking about St. Louis, and somebody says, well, that's really odd. He would bring up St. Louis, and I'm like, yeah, it is odd. But the thing is you know what? The only thing that would really bring St. Louis into it would be if somebody saw the license plate. If they saw the license plate and they got the, like, say, first 2 digits maybe, or however they do it down there, like in Indiana right here, man, if you got a 34 blah, blah, blah license plate, you're from Howard County. 9, and then you got 25 Fulton. They start like that. If they got the first couple off the license plate, they would know that the car was from St. Louis, Missouri. But I don't know that. I mean, I don't know any of that. It took them 2 years and 2 months before they even came out with the fact that there was a car at the abandoned CPS building, which is kind of odd. Let's see, where was I going with that? And I forget now. I should always try to keep my mind on what it is I'm thinking. Well, I ain't going to be on there long, John. I won't be on here very long anyway, I don't think. But I did want to bring this forward because now this is a burning question. I'm not saying he couldn't have came from the north. It's not impossible that he came from the north. But at a minimum, it reduces it to 10 to 12 minutes. Minimally. If he was back any further than that, Ben, that's further time added that's taken off the crime time. And I don't think that crime was done in a couple of minutes. Impossible. It's just not possible that it could only be done in a couple of minutes. It could. I mean, if the guy got over there and was in some kind of a major rush, but I'm just not seeing it like that. And again, I've heard this countless times. And again, if law enforcement, if it was me and they came to me and showed me a video or audio, and I heard audio that wasn't graphic, and they said, look, this is part of our investigation, so we don't want anything out about what's on this audio. Please do not repeat any of this. That's what law enforcement does. That is law enforcement. That is how they act. That is why the lady that was walking her dogs couldn't speak about what the guy looked like. It's investigation. When I got a hold of Sheriff Lesenby about what the timestamp was on the video, at what time was that video taken, could not give it to me. Indiana Code 503B, Section 245, something like that, that anything in the investigation cannot be given to the public if it's a vital part of the investigation, which apparently the timestamp on that little video is. But how can we say that they heard that video and can go out and talk about that video, or I mean that audio, and then go talk about that audio? Why would she turn the video camera on? There's not a reason. This guy didn't say something creepy to him. He would have grabbed him on the north side. They would have been gone right there. That's my hunch. That's what I believe. Now, on top of that, let me see. The girls didn't have any video on the camera, to my knowledge. And I don't know this because other pictures may have been like not even put forward, or maybe there or two were on Snapchat and had public access, something like that. But there was no other video record except for what we know, where it was turned on him when he was walking toward them from the north side. Now, he was walking from the north side, but I'm going to ask, if you're going to lead somebody somewhere with a gun where you're making them go, do you show them the gun and then say, come on, follow me? No, you say, walk that away, because you're going to be where? Behind them, leading them. Do you see where I'm at? So if he walked out and was leading them back to the south side, which I believe happened, and another one too, from the angle of where they got that video, they're not at the end of the bridge. Quite contrary, they're actually down at the last pedestal on the left-hand side. That's exactly where they are. You can tell from the direction that it's aimed. If it's aimed this way, across the tracks, whereas if you're at the end of the bridge 60 feet in front of him and you're taking it, it's going to be dead on front of him. It's going to be staring directly at his front, not from the side like this. Now, you can't go to the end and get a side picture because you'd be 70 feet over the ground. Do you see where I'm at? It makes no sense to me at all. It really don't. And this is why I bring it to you. No, they know who did it. Because if he was charged with it, if he was charged with the crime while he's down there for first-degree murder with the public defender would say these words, "We demand a quick and speedy trial." Indiana would say, "There's no way we can get him back here in 60 days. And his lawyer would say, "Guess what? We win." That's why. I don't think it turned into a fight because those two girls wanted to go home. If you were going to fight with a man with a gun, you will die. If I was there with my best friend, we would comply because we want to go home. That ain't bad. But I do believe he was going to go back out the north side anyway. I really do. And I think he waited for someone to arrive at the bridge where he could go get them back to the south, cross right over to where he already scouted, where he knew he wanted to go. If he was on the north side, he would have took him through Mira's property there. Would have been quicker than crossing the bridge. Way quicker. He could have got him straight back through there in Alisite in moments. So again, I'm not, this is my disagreement with them, like getting to the end of the bridge and saying that. Well, yeah, right. Well, no, man, I mean, I'm just saying, man, because that's why I've repeated that a billion times. Well, if the DNA came back, they would have filed charges. No, they wouldn't. They're not idiots. They know what they're doing. If they can't even go down and talk to him now. You know why? Because he's down there facing justice for first-degree murder. Thank God. He needs to pay for that shit. He needs to pay for DELPHI in the same like manner. But they're not going to file charges until they go talk to him firstly, try to get a confession, and then hit him with charges. That's how law enforcement works. Now, I can go back, man, and I can repeat 100 times that law enforcement has said, we are keeping this case very tight to our vest. We are being very secretive about some things because only the suspect knows. Hey, how you doing, Tylor? How you doing, buddy? I don't think they need to make a deal with him to get him to speak on Delphi. They got audio of the guy. They got video of the guy. They got 2 guys that seen him. They got DNA. They got fingerprints. They even got his car. He does not have an alibi. He is so hit for Delphi, it ain't even funny. There is I can think of no other murder in the history that I can think of murders that has this much evidence. That's how bad this guy said. Now, they set off to go, man. And again, I'm repeating Robert Ives here when he said, well, with the physical evidence that was left, we assumed we'd have this wrapped up and someone jailed within 2 days. 2 days. 2 days' time. Well, that says to me that either A, what was left at the crime scene had his name on it, or something that would tie him like directly back to that guy, or the evidence had fingerprints on it, which they knew that they could run and have somebody arrested within 2 days. You see where I'm at? And that is where I am now. That's where I've been since the first year press conference. Just like True Crime Garage TV said, like quoting me, you know, when Kim Riley said the man never committed a crime, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, maybe he has, but we can find no traces of him. Gee, the guy said on True Crime Garage TV, that made me feel immediately that they had fingerprints. And I'm like, you fucking thief, man, you dirty, rotten little thief, not even like referencing my name. Well, I'll tell you what, Sandra, if you think a young girl's going to fight a guy with a gun and get her and her best friend killed, right on. You know what? Take that with you. I mean, you know, there it is. But you know what? I'm going to say I know better. I'm going to say I know way better. If a guy's got a gun on you and he's going to kill you both, you're probably not going to swing a punch that you know ain't going to fucking kill him. I'm with you on that, but we don't know that they wasn't tied up. We don't know what was done there. This is the thing. We don't know what was done at the crime scene. We know it was brutal murder. We know that there was some staging and posing. We know that there was a lot of signatures and physical evidence. And I just don't think all of that can be done in a couple of like 10 to 12 minutes. I don't. And again, I'm not on the side that they put it on video record. The guy wasn't right behind him. Guy didn't say, I'm going to follow you. I'm positive of that. The guy went there to commit this crime. We're great friends. In fact, I would say in the world, I'd probably consider Greeno to be one of my best friends. That don't mean he don't piss me off. But hell, my best friends piss me off, so yeah, but again, you're saying claw with the nails. You know, this is a beautiful theory that I've heard 1 billion times over, 1 billion times. She fought him. Why? Why would she try to hit a guy with a gun? She knows she's going to hit him. She knows it isn't going to kill him. She knows that that man's going to be pissed and kill them both. Why would she do that to herself and her best friend? Why would she try to claw him? Why? Is clawing him going to kill him, make him go away? No. I don't think the guy got up there and said, claw me or hit me. I'm positive of that. I'm sure neither one of those girls wanted to be there. Neither one of those girls wanted to be there, and they both just wanted to go home. We just want to go home. That's that. I think that anything outside of that is probably hearsay, theory, and speculation that people throw out there. Hey, don't we want to believe that she beat the hell out of him? I would. I'd love to believe that. Yeah, she beat the living crap out of his ass. But I don't think a 14-year-old girl is going to do that to a grown man, especially a guy that's got a weapon that's already threatening to kill you and your friend. Why would you do that? I wouldn't. Well, now that's not even drawn into theory. That's drawn into a story that is not even like been told. He pistol whipped her friend, so she got up and started swinging at him. You see, we don't know what happened at that crime scene, aside of the fact that 2 girls died. Brutally died. That's what we know. Exactly. And Jay Keller, that's exactly where my thoughts lie. Let me tell you, man, people say, well, they would have screamed. And I said, well, that sounds legit. It really sounds legitimate, but screaming is like what they do in a movie. A girl sees a gun, ah! Well, in real life, it don't work like that. You pull a gun, somebody be like, and they'll be like frozen fear because you got a gun, but they're not going to scream. Listen, do as I say, and you'll be just fine. You know, that's normally the way that a person like that would act, you know, in response to a victim. Do as I say, you'll be fine. But if you don't, then you're going to get hurt. You hear me? That's how a person would do that. Now, you want to keep them in fear, I guess. You want to keep them compliant, I'm sure. Not everybody reacts the same. You're right, but I'm not buying the story of that sleuth intuition. Not everybody does act the same. Did you hear somebody say they heard him scream? Anybody? Did anybody hear somebody say that they heard him scream? I didn't. Cheyenne was there at 2:49. She said, I didn't see or hear him. Well, if you go from video to video, you probably heard a million people say they heard him scream. But the thing is somebody heard him scream that night when they was looking for him. There would have been, oh yeah, and we heard screaming too. So we heard it down this way. Nobody heard him scream. The reporter was lying. The reporter was totally lying. It was not her. It was not those 2 girls that screamed. The first person that was on that scene was Cheyenne, and Cheyenne did not hear anything. There was nobody else around aside of Cheyenne that could have heard them scream. If somebody said, oh yeah, well, I heard somebody scream earlier, that had nothing to do with those 2 girls. Nothing. Yeah, they probably were. Oh, hey, Katie. Hey, Alley Cat, man, how you doing? Well, now I did not. When I was 13, I never had a gun pointed at me in any seriousness. You know, nothing like that. Now, I have had a gun pointed at me in seriousness before. That is a fact. I didn't scream. I'm just like, well, shit. What do you do now, man? You know, your mind starts racing of like, fuck. Okay, this guy's real. You know, that's more of like how it works. But I don't think that everybody just and starts screaming, because if you see a gun and you start screaming, look, this is Indiana. Do you know how many people in India have seen a gun in Indiana? All of us. Every single one of us. If he pulled it out and said, I'm going to kill you, then there might be a reaction, maybe. But if he pulled it out and gave anything, and I'm going to run it like this. If I'm trying to get 2 girls over to an area, I'm not going to say, hey, I'm a bad guy, I got a gun, and I'm going to take you someplace and hurt you. You wouldn't do it like that. You would make a story to it, like a calm compliance, so to speak. Like, hey, girls, listen, I'm with law enforcement. We've been following the guy. We know he's over here. We need to get you to a safe area. Follow me. That's how you would do that. Guys down the hill here. You see, that would be a way of getting them to follow your directive without giving yourself away. That's how people do that. But again, I mean, we got the idea because we know it was double murder. We know now it was double murder. He didn't know he was on videotape. He had no idea. I mean, if he thought he was on videotape, holy shit, man. I mean, like, you know, then he would at least destroyed the phone. Left it where it was, but made sure it was totally fucking destroyed. She didn't leave Abby, or she didn't leave Libby. How could she have left Libby? They were together. They were abducted together. I mean, if Abby had took off running, that would be no different than Libby hitting the guy. That would have caused both to die. If you are under duress, you got to do what that guy says. No matter what. No matter what. Perhaps, maybe, but that would be a time. That would be a time. But do we know if they were gagged? Do we know if they were tied up? Do we know anything? No, we don't. We don't know anything about over there. And really to state otherwise is kind of guessing. That's why I try to take the guess out of it. I really do. I'm just saying that everything that was done at the crime scene, and there was a lot there at the crime scene. There was a lot of area of the crime scene. That means that they didn't just walk right there and were right here. It covered a big, huge area of where that guy had traveled back and forth, probably grabbing limbs, twigs, so on. I mean, it's February, to help cover the area. My theory on TV. It would be important to me if people listened to what I said. If people listened to what I said, fact checked what I said, was looking at what I said, where that they could give good, proper feedback. But there is no way to make people pay attention. I've known people that have sat right here and I've seen their name on every live show. And they call me. And when I explain it to them on the phone, they're like, oh, now I get it. I'm like, how do you get it now when I've explained the exact same thing I just told you about 500 times over the last year? How do you just now get it? How is it that it just now clicks? Everything will become obvious. Now, I post things as theories, like him being on the South Side. It's a theory. I don't know that he was on the South Side. But I do say that 10 to 12 minutes just does not seem like enough time to commit the crime and all the actions involved. It really don't. That's 10 to 12 minutes provided that he didn't see Cheyenne and have to hold up for a minute or two to allow her to get to the bridge. Then it would be less than that. Then it'd be 8 to 10 minutes. And I don't think that's, oh, yeah, I should never put my weight on that, man. I'm sorry, people. You never should have had to see that. I think that everything will become evident as to who did it, and probably by February, probably at the latest March of 2022. So, I mean, I ain't worried about that. I mean, it's been like over 2.5 years, man, of talking about it and handing it out and giving it out. So it's not that I feel that this time has went to waste. I mean, the biggest thing to me, is TJB. There you go. Whether it's North Side or South Side, that is a theory. A theory. I can't say that I deduce and know he was on the South Side. But I got my reasons. I really do. Let's pull up a picture of Bridge Guy here real quick. Where's Bridge Guy? Where in the hell is Bridge Guy? Wait, I don't have Bridge Guy? There it is. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, I didn't even have it on. Okay, hang on a second. Let me get rid of the email as well. There we go. Okay, check out the picture of bridge guy here. Now, I can roll this right there. Now, people have said that what's in his pocket here is a gun. I heard Mike Patty say on the Dr. Phil show, yeah, it looks like a gun. But I want you to look at the size of that man, and they're probably a good distance away from him. If this here is a gun, that is a huge handgun that he has in his pocket that's pointing kind of backwards. I don't think that that's the case at all. I think this right here is a holster, right here. And I think this here, bing, bing, is field glasses, binoculars. That way, on the south side of the bridge, he can look to the north, see who's coming on, see if that's the person he wants to victimize, then go get him. I also believe that he had alcohol on him. I believe that he had a knife on him. I believe that he had a handgun on him. This up here could have, very well. And watch his hat right there. That little dot right here, very well may be a video camera. I mean, I do give that some theory. I mean, a guy brought that to me, and I'm like, you know what? That makes sense, because I really do kind of feel that he had videotaped. At least videotaped. Could took pictures, but really in today's technology, why wouldn't you want to videotape of the actions? You could literally sit and relive that. And I think that that's what Ted Bundy would have wanted. You know, all these sadistic serial killers would like to videotape that so they could constantly go back and relive that. He didn't enter on the north side. He entered near the south side where the creek meets the public road. Are you talking about the trail? Because he did not enter the trail from the south side. He entered it from the north side and walked to the south side. Sounds logical. However, where they were down in a 70-foot holler where it wouldn't have been easy to hear anything at all. I mean, you know, it's one thing to go there and get video of the area, but it doesn't do the hills justice. It really don't. It's like looking down the ravine bed. Somebody go, oh, yeah, it's a ravine. Yeah, you don't see the magnitude and the depth of the ravine. You know, that's kind of the issue. I don't watch other people's stuff, Tyler. Never watch other people's stuff. Never. I don't want my mind clouded with anybody else's crap. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know who Aaron Stoner is. Hope he's good at what he does. No, he did not. That defeats everything that we know. Everything that we know. He parked at the abandoned CPS building, walked in from the north side, crossed the bridge to the south side. We know he was at the south side at 12:30, and we know he walked to 501 back to where his car was parked. He did not come in on the south side. Sleuth intuition, please stop using your imagination, man. Come on, man. Stick with me. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Tyler. But you don't have to hit the like button unless you want to. I got a second on my watch, man. I mean, if you want to hit the like button, right on. You're the best. Sleuth intuition, let me tell you. I have a catalog of every single news article, every single press conference, every single law enforcement interview, every single one. I have watched them all. I have listened to everything stated, everything, exactly as it was stated. I draw so much information out of that by what they say, what they can't say, what they can say without saying too much. And you start to learn exactly the areas that they're not talking about. Now, if you was to do that and go back and look through every law enforcement press conference, every interview, so on, so on, so on, you would know where he parked. You would know how he got to the bridge. You would know he crossed the bridge. Now, not only that, to say he went back on the north side and then crossed the bridge, why would he do that? Here it is. One more time. Here's the bridge right here. Now, you're saying that he came in like down here. I don't even know. I don't know. What did he do, man? Let me see. County Road 200 down to here and down to here. But then he crossed over to here. But he was walking all the way back to here. I don't know, man. Maybe to walk the highway back down. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, back down to here and get back to his car. I don't know. I don't know where you're at, man. I have no idea. But hang on. Oh, shit. I didn't even have that up. Pardon. Let me try this again. There we go. Because right here, this is where the creek goes in on the south side. See that little creek? See it right there? Now, this is the private drive. All of this. All of this right here is the private drive. This is a little country road. This is the country road here. This goes right out to County Road 200. Now, if he drove down to here, everybody in the world would have seen his car. But he didn't. He parked here at the abandoned CPS building. Right there. Right there. That's where he parked. And he walked this way. And he walked down to the bridge and crossed and was seen here at 12:30. Law enforcement said that his car roughly got there at around 12. It is a 15-minute hike to here with a few more minutes across, which would, I mean, you know, we could easily say he got over here by 12:20 if he started walking exactly at 12. Could have been a little after, could have been a little before. We know that he was already there when he was seen by the lady that lived here when she was walking her dogs. She spoke to him for a couple of minutes. 12:30 p.m. approximately 12:30. She wasn't looking at a watch. But that is the way that I understand it. Yes, I confirmed it. Law enforcement confirmed it. Law enforcement stated it. If you have any more questions about being confirmed, please call Tobe Lesenby at Carroll County Jail. He'll tell you what's been confirmed. No, I will not. I'm not wasting my time, Sleuth. I ain't doing that shit. You stick with your own theory and leave it like that. Exactly. And thank you. Now, when you say that, because a lot of this was not given, law enforcement did not give out a lot of this information. They did tell us where he parked. I mean, they did say that there was a vehicle parked at the abandoned CPS building from around 12 up to 5 because they knew it was not there at 5. That was on the 13th. Peace, Sleuth Intuition. See you later, dude. No. No, not true at all. Don't even know why you would ask. What was what name? The name that I mentioned of the suspect? Help me out. Oh, Tobe Lesenby. Here, I'll type that out for you. In fact, I got his email, but if you put in Tobe Lesenby, and that would actually be Sheriff Tobe Lesenby. If you look up Sheriff Tobe Lesenby, Carroll County, Indiana, email on Google, it'll pull it right up for you. And you can ask him. Yes, you can. Now he's not big on answering emails anymore, especially concerning this case. But he has been known to answer. He's answered quite a few of mine. Greeno does not live in Delphi, nor did he at that time. In fact, he was in Lafayette and had went to Delphi. Yeah, I put it up there. It's right here. I put it up there for him. Well, Tupac now, people are a bunch of fucking idiots. And I don't really have time or place for a bunch of fucking idiots. I don't. And in fact, when I hear idiots talk, I usually tell them I got to get home to my dog because I don't want to hear him talk anymore. Now, if people think that Greeno is a mastermind that fucking had 2 little girls killed, you know what? Survey says they need to go fucking do themselves in because they're that fucking stupid. No, he is not from Delphi. He was actually born in Lafayette and raised in and around Monticello. Happen to know this shit. If he ever needs a lawyer. How you doing, Connor? So, is everybody clear on the question that I had? The burning question? Did everybody get it? If not, man, you really need to rewatch this video. It's a stunning and amazing question. One that will make you think. Nah, I ain't talking about people that go to video to video to video trying to find out what's new. You guys, it won't change your life at all. You'll just go to the next video and see what somebody else has got to say. I know how you fuckers do. You guys are great like that, man. Just positively amazing. Hey, how you doing, you man? You know what? If you got a silly ass question, ask it right now. I'd love to hear it. Yeah, everybody's showing up a little late. It's fine though, man. Hey, 51 people, man. And that's cool. That's super, man. That's cool, man. It means you guys can hit that like button and give me 51 thumbs up. You know what that would make for like a video? On a Friday? On a Friday? Be positively amazing. I am being nice, man. I am being nice. See, Gargar, man. You have to go back and check it out. You got to get to the question. All right, allow me to play along. They get Greeno his cell phone because they believe he masterminded this. He's not even a killer. But he masterminded this. Yeah, little Anthony Greeno, bridge guy for a minute. I want you to think about that. Now, the FBI has DNA and fingerprints, and Anthony Greeno has already been under arrest so many times in his life, they would have known it was him. Don't you believe? Or would you rather believe that? Because I'll tell you right now, man, if there's one person that would like to make it be that way, it'd probably be Greeno, because he'd love everybody to think that's him. I'd get him so many views, it'd be just crazy as hell. He'd make money hand over fist. Let's be honest. It is not Greeno. Greeno was right here, and Greeno was as dumbed down as I was, sitting there staring at the damn video, the picture of the guy, days on end, trying to figure out who the fuck it is. I said, do you know who it is? No. I said, do you think staring at the picture is going to give you his name? Well, I'm obsessed with it. So I don't think you're obsessed with it. I said, you want to know who the guy is, but staring at it ain't going to work. Well, and not only that, Greeno talked to the lady that seen the suspect. He's right there on video where flannel shirt guy can go, hey, wait a minute. That's the fucker I seen. The first time that, hey, man, fucking Geo knows this here. Hell yeah, bro. Bam, what's up, Geo? Man, hope life's treating you well, dude. And aside of that, I mean, you know, you got Greeno, you got the people that had seen the guy, and they're not saying, oh, it was this guy right here. You know, they know his voice. They know his height and weight and everything else about him. The one person who has never really and honestly been suspected of this crime is Anthony Greeno. There it is. BS, dude, I hope you got a question, because I appreciate the living shit out of you right now. Just do $20, man. I'm doing a Friday. Hey, you know, and here I am. I'm just doing a Friday video, man. Look at me, man. I mean, like a $20 donation. Throw a question up, man. That would just be outstanding. Yes, Greeno's heart is in the right place. Always has been. When this crime happened, Greeno was the very first person that I reached. Very first. Very first. And I got a hold of him thinking he was down in the Carolinas, which he was. You know, he was in the Carolinas and had just came back. And when I got a hold of him on Facebook and told him what had happened, he's like, dude, I'm in Delphi. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I'm in Delphi now. And I'm like, you're kidding me, man. What'd you do? Fly back? Like, you know, I was kind of dumbfounded. Reaching him, thinking he was in the Carolinas, he was at my house 2 hours later. And for 2 years, we sat right here talking about that crime. Yeah. No, Greeno's got great skills. If I ever in my lifetime needed a video edited or filmed or reported, it would be Greeno. Greeno is top notch, and there is not another person that I would rather have do it aside of Greeno. And later, Tupac. Nice seeing you, buddy. MK, dude, right on, man. And I'm glad that you threw a comment up, man. I appreciate that donation very, very much. And if you got a question, man, throw it up. I will get right to it, I promise. I'll answer whatever you need, man. Yeah, except that there's one thing with that, Hackett's. Oh, wait. Who did that? Iva. Thank you very much, Iva, man. I do, man. I appreciate donations. They do go to my channel. They don't go to Bitcoin. You know, that's my money that goes to Bitcoin, not donation money. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I apologize. Man, I'm sorry, MK. How was I know, you know? MK, it could have been Michael Katt. You know, I'm sorry, but thank you very much for the donation. But anyway, yes, Chadwell, I mean, like if you watch the thing, and I put it up the other day, you know, the video with the interview that I did with Trooper Kim Riley, first year press conference. He says, well, He goes, it's like, and again, I repeat this on every show. It's like that the suspect has never got caught committing a crime before. I says, are you saying that because the DNA does not match? He goes, well, I can't speak on that. And maybe he's done something, but we can find no traces of it. That's when I said, that's right, it was me. It was not True Crime Garage TV and those thieves. It was me who said, at that moment, I said, one, yes. Okay, they got fingerprints, because that's the only way that you can determine if a person had never committed a crime before, is if fingerprints don't match. That's it. If you go to jail, it doesn't matter if you're jaywalking. If they take you to jail, they're going to fingerprint you, and those fingerprints go into a database. Now, if you have fingerprints and they don't match, then you can specifically say, this man has never committed a crime before. Now, if it's DNA, well, DNA was only taken back then for specific crimes, like violent crimes, violent armed offenses, sexual, like that. You know, but that's not all crimes. Because the guy doesn't have a DNA match doesn't mean he had never broken the law, you know, but he could have broken the law, but they would have fingerprinted him. But if he has not, but if you have these fingerprints and they have no match, then you can say the man had never got caught committing a crime before. Oh, hang on, Tylor Durden. Let me get to your question there. And thank you very kindly for the donation. Very, very much. Well, you know what? I think Greeno was talking about going out to Evansdale this summer and stopping back by St. Louis. So I said, well, why are you going by St. Louis? He goes, because Thomas Bruce is there. I want to get that story like right there at the jailhouse. So he says, you need to go with me. And I'm like, dude, if you're going to Evansdale and St. Louis for that, I'm already there, you know? So yes, if that's what you want it used for, I will use it for that. And I think you highlight Tylor. I appreciate it, man. I really, really do. True, he could be running around living quiet and a friend to many in Delphi. No. Not true at all. I've covered this many times. I really have, Joy Catcher. Look, the entire population of Carroll County, of which Delphi is the county seat, is 20,000 people. Divide 20,000 in half to get men. Now reduce out of 10,000, how many are 18 to 40? Now take out all of those people that are remaining, those with blue eyes. Now take out everybody who had ever committed a crime before. You're left with a few hundred people. Now, all you got to do is look at those few hundred people, leave those 70,000 phone-in tips alone, and look over those few hundred people and see which ones fit his frame, which ones look like him, which ones might fit the sketch, which ones fit this. Then go talk to them. Now, that is exactly what they would have done. Exactly, precisely what they would have done. When they came out and said that he's living locally and hiding in plain sight, that was a narrative. That was a narrative to keep people from knowing that, yeah, we know who he is, but we can't say, because anything that we could answer on would involve our investigation, and we're not giving that away. We don't want them to know about what we know. You see where I'm at? He don't live around Delphi. I don't think he knows anybody in Delphi, period. I really don't. No, none. No. And again, I mean, if you had watched any of my previous shows, you know, I mean, I had spoke of, he was living at the time of Delphi. He wasn't living in Imperial in Jefferson County, Missouri. He was living in St. Louis on Lacklink Road. Now, if you go from Lacklink Road and you go to Google and you put in St. Louis, Lacklink Road at his address, directions to Fort Wayne, Indiana, it's going to give you two directions, one up I-70, one up to Hoosier Heartland. Now, I think that being a serial killer, always the other hand, being a serial killer, he always took the small highways. He always walked small trails because he wasn't a stalker. He wasn't somebody that kept an eye on somebody. He went to places where it could become opportunistic, a small trail that's hiked but not heavily. Well, if somebody walks down the Monon High Bridge Trail, especially before the crime, hell, man, it might be 3 hours before you saw somebody again. You see where I'm at? It was not heavily hiked. So if somebody walked by that you wanted to victimize, you could pull a gun on them and lead them directly to where you wanted to go. Private property, anywhere to the left. Out of sight, way away from the trail, commit the crime and leave. That's the way this guy thought. I think that he had stopped at the Monon High Bridge Trail many times. I think that he saw that as a place of opportunity, very much like Evansdale. So I think that that's what it amounted to. That's why he went there. He knew that there would be people there that day. Not many people there that day, but there would be somebody that he hoped that he could victimize where he could take them over there. Now, he was there for approximately 2.5 hours before the girls showed up. Think about that. Before the time that he abducted the girls. 2.5 hours on the south side of that bridge, you're going to go look around, scout underneath, make sure nobody's hiking, camping, fishing, things like that underneath it where you'd be caught in the act. I believe that he did that. He walked down, he seen where the creek was shallow. Maybe he walked across, seeing that it was in a gully that had a big wall all the way around it, where it was quiet. He may have did all of that pre-too. So I don't think that he was, going there and had people, new people, was coming and going and just happened to be there that day. Because think about it, as he went there to visit somebody, then boom, this big crime happens, and they got the guy's video on or pictures and his audio. When the person that he went and seen go, hey, wait a minute, I know that dude. He's a friend of mine. He came and visited the other day, and phone him in. I know I would. Anybody would. If he was from anywhere around Delphi, he would have been arrested within 3 days' time. 3 days' time, if he was from anywhere around Delphi. You have my word on that. Yes, exactly. You're exactly right. Now, I think he traveled to Delphi because it was the reverse date of Evansdale. He went there to do the same thing he did in Evansdale. If you don't know the similarities between Evansdale and Delphi, please look up my videos, the similarities between Evansdale and Delphi. Put in KATT after that. It should pull up my video. I give all of them. It's a great video. You need to catch it. Because that's what fits the narrative. If people know who he is, why do you think that they got rid of the first sketch? Why do you think they got rid of that? Because it looks exactly like that. Bing, 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 bing. They didn't want people looking at that and going, hey, wait a minute. This Thomas Bruce guy. No. We now feel he's like local, hiding in plain sight. Here's a new sketch. It's really generic without him having a hat on. Both people have seen him. He had a hat on. They have no idea what the top of his head looks like. You see, well, I can't do it with the mouse, but you see in the sketch there, he's got facial hair just like that. Just exactly like that. Over here. See where I'm at? Just like that. The second sketch, no facial hair. None at all. But he looks younger. You see where I'm at? Now, if people don't think it's Thomas Bruce and they think he's somebody living local, well, then they're not going to ask questions about Thomas Bruce, are they? They're not going to ask about that. They're not going to say, well, what do you guys know? What do you guys, they won't do that. And that's what law enforcement wants. Why? Because they can't press charges till he's convicted down there. They can't go question him until he's convicted down there because it's another state. He's under representation. They went out to Colorado, man. That's like, geez, what was that, 3.5 years ago, man? Back with Daniel Nations, right at the first year's press conference. They went out there to talk to him. What happened? I was on the phone with Daniel Nations. I said, what did you tell him? Well, I didn't tell him anything. My public defender stopped him at the door and turned him away without consulting me because I wanted to talk to him and give my DNA so that this would be behind me and I didn't have to be, and I wasn't accused of it anymore. So anyway, that's kind of the take on that. Well, you know what? It's going to be hard to do, but I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to dedicate the show to you and every other supporter, man. I think you highly, Tylor Durden, man. You're a good dude. Appreciate it. I really, really do. Oh, he looks like the sketch. It's the eyes. It's definitely the eyes. The eyes and the facial hair. Plus, he was wearing the same hat. I mean, that's the one that he was arrested down there in Catholic supply store. He was dressed exactly like Bridge Guy. Was the joy catcher timed out? No. No, I didn't time anybody out. I mean, unless it was a moderator. Very important question here. Man, that's a good one, dude. You know what, man? I'm literally going to say that was probably a good friend of mine, Derek Lamb. He brought one over. As badass as shit, man. And you would have had to have been here. Oh, it was. No, dude, it was like dynamite, man. It was like incredible damage. Incredible. Like literal crater. It was a mod. Okay. Well, apparently they said something they shouldn't have, man. Huh? Mods doing their job, man. Right on, mods. Yeah. You know what? Somebody made that. I used to have it on my computer somewhere. Yeah, he does. It was made right off of his face by the lady walking her dogs. That's why it looks so good. And it still took months, man. And that was in the law enforcement interview, you know, where they talked about that. They said that it took months to do. And let me see, I think that came out in July. So you had from, and I don't know that it was in February, but we say March, April, May, June, July, you know, 5 months. I think it was probably less than that. Holy mother of God, man. Jeez, people. Man, okay, you know, it's becoming a contest, you know. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you know what? See, I was thinking MK, and believe me, when I see MK or McCat or anything, normally I think, well, it's the one dude trying to patrol. You see where I'm at. But in knowing you're a woman, I appreciate that. And I thank you very kindly, ma'am. You are very, very, very cool. Thank you. And I appreciate the comment as well. If you have a question, man, please throw it up, and I will get to it. Yeah, and I agree. In the second sketch that they gave us, I do see a younger Thomas Bruce. Allow me to demonstrate. Hold on here a second. Let me go pull this up. Got to find it first. Right here. Now, if you look at this picture here, this is him when he joined the Navy. Right? Isn't it? Yeah, there we go. And in that, oh crap, man, come on, man, what the hell's with my computer? It does this with photos. Okay, well, you're gonna have to look at it like that. But that right there does kind of look. I don't know why it won't blow up. Yeah, it ain't. But let me go back to here and pull up the second sketch. Here. Now that does kind of look like him. No, not there, but I mean that right there does look like him when he's younger. But the thing is that I do know that the two people that seen him with a hat on. You know, he was not without a hat. They didn't see the top of his head. Now, anybody looking at that sketch right there would say, what? Well, it can't be Thomas Bruce. Thomas Bruce ain't got no hair on his head, huh? Huh, Cat? Right? Right, Cat? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it kind of shows you wrong, doesn't it? No, they totally made that sketch up, and I knew that. I knew that when I seen it, man. Yeah, right away, because I knew it wasn't going to be a suspect announcement at the briefing. Hey, what up, Bruce? And me, and me too, you know, but thank you very much, man. I don't really. Oh, are you? No, I see what you're talking about. You're talking about this right here. That was taken off of here. I went through and I green screened that out so I could place it on there. Of course, the real sketch doesn't have the black eye. I did that purposely. But understand, I mean, like, you know, black eyes don't last for like 3 years, you know, almost 2 years, I guess I should say. Well, if so, I thought about it with DNA. But I thought, why would they use DNA? Why would they use DNA to get like a younger version of what the guy looked like? Why would they go through all of that trouble, all that effort, and all that expenditure when they already know who did it? They knew who did it for 5 months at the time of the briefing. They already knew. They knew before me. I mean, you know, law enforcement knew right away that it was him. You know, it took like 0 time. So I don't think that they did that. You know, I don't think that they really did that, but I think that they may have looked back at his younger pictures and drew a younger picture of him, you know, so to speak, and tried to make it, because same time that they had stated that at the briefing, they said, but he may look younger than his real age. Now, this is Thomas Bruce at 52 years old. Not much of a wrinkle on his face. Not really. If he's wearing a hat, man, hell, he could pass right there in his upper 40s, maybe even mid 40s. I mean, his face looks pretty young right there. Geez, Tylor, you know, holy cow, man. Calm down, man. Calm down there, man. You know, I'm going to have to send you like a Christmas letter and stuff, man, to Tylor Durden from your friend Michael Stroop and Figador. Yeah. You know what I've been thinking, just quickly, and if anybody's got any issue, please say so down in the comment. I've been thinking about Configurador Tonkaway, which means the great one. Let me know if you like it or not. Yeah, you do. Nah, you know what, man? I do try to do my best on here, and I honestly do. And sometimes I get a little pissy. And I mean, understand, it's been a long time. It's been a very, very long time on this. It's going to be pushing 5 years, you know, and it's been all the time. It's not every day, but it's a lot of the time I'm sitting there looking over what I've done, looking over what I know, trying to reinforce what I know, and trying to make things more concrete. The only reason is because that is the way that I do things. I mean, is the way that, and I'm not trying to sound braggadocio or anything like that, and I'm not, but it is the way that my mind works. I mean, I like questions that have answers. And if I have questions that have no answers, I want answers to that, because without knowing, then you're left in the dark. Well, I don't like being in the dark mentally, so to speak. You know, so I mean, I do try to ask the question. It's just like with him coming from the north side or the south. Well, from the north side, that leaves 10 to 12 minutes, minimally 10 to 12 minutes. And it could be a minute or two less than that if he saw Cheyenne. But I think that everything that we know that was at the crime scene, that we've been made aware of by law enforcement, says that it was longer than a 10 to 12 minute job. I mean, it just would be, you know, and that's me. And again, I don't think that anybody's going to go out talking about what was on that audio, because audio is going, you know, the law enforcement is going to tell them when they hear that audio. This audio is investigatory. You know, this is part of our investigation. We don't want any part of this out here. So please don't repeat what you hear. That's usually how law enforcement works, especially in a double homicide investigation, especially one of this nature. This is international. This is one around the world a few times. That's why people have interest in it. Now, I don't get upset with people unless they're asking questions that I feel are not negative, but invoking something other than what I'm talking about. Just like Tupac earlier. Well, I don't know, because they said that, and it's just like after the third time, later, dude, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. You know, take it down the road with you. Go to the next channel and share it. I don't give a shit. Don't do it here. I try to stick to what we know is fact. And if I step outside of that, I say this is theory. Just like me saying he's on the south side of the bridge. Well, if he came from the north side, fine. But I really have a hard time determining how everything could have been done at the crime scene in that time. Why she would have had her phone on video record when they're just walking. They're just walking, not even videotaping it. They're not sitting there videotaping everything. But they had it on where it heard her say to the other girl, well, we can't go any further because this is the end of the trail. Well, the end of the south side isn't the end of the trail, it's the north side, because the trail ends where the bridge begins. The rest of that, the bridge and the trail to the other side belong to CSX Railroad, not the trail. Now, one girl had lived on the south side of the bridge right there and probably knew most of the people that lived there, and they could have went straight to their house. They could have dialed 911. They could have called family. They could have did a lot of things, provided they was not already under duress, and I feel that they were. Oh, wait, I missed your question, Bev. Let me hop back up here. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, exactly. And he could. And that is something that I give him here, because he did look young. However, let's go back here for a minute and pull this up. This is a more recent, and even this is over a year ago. Oh, shit. This is over a year ago. But look at that face now, man. Look at that. Well, that guy don't look like he's in his 40s now, man. He looks ancient. That guy looks like he's got some issues, man. He aged horribly. You know, real bad in a couple of years. So... oh, wait, you guys didn't even see that, did you? Man, I'm sorry. Let me try this again. Let me do this one more time. Sorry. There. Now that right there, and that was taken probably about 2 years ago, somewhere right at that time. You know, is in one of his probably second court appearance. There he looks a lot older than what he did there. You know, considerably older. Tylor, it isn't. It's not. See this mark here and here? See these right here? Those were right. That's that, and that mark right there. What I did was I took his mugshot to paint, and I took green and I colored in all the way around it. So I just left these two. Then I clicked on green with the delete, deleted the green, and then saved it as a PNG so I could save the eyebrows like that, and then place it on the sketch. I did that. You know, the guy didn't have like an ongoing black eye where he was seen with it. You know, this happened when they arrested him down in St. Louis, man. He put up a fight and they kicked his ass. Thank God. Kicked his door in. I do know that he drank. I know that he drank quite often, but I never seen him in a picture with a cigarette or a pack of cigarettes around him. I don't know that he smoked. He may have. I mean, it's not something that we know. I don't even know if he's left-handed or not. He could be. I don't know. If he is left-handed, it would really play in. It would play in very well, because at the traffic pullover, let me go get the traffic pullover here real quick. But at the traffic pullover, let me go pull this up. Screen recorder. And let's see, voice. It's got to be up here. Nope. Oh, wait. Maybe it is too. What in the hell? Oh, there it is. Okay. Now, listen here for just a second.
Murder suspect.
Hold on. Okay. Hold on a second. And now this right here, this is his voice. This is Thomas Bruce. Now, I don't know how clear you can see this at home, so kind of pay attention to his hand. Remember, this is a dash cam, and the cop is standing at a distance from where the microphone is, and he's standing in front of Thomas Bruce. But now watch which hand that Thomas Bruce points with, and watch when he stands back, and when he says no over here, he has his hands in his pockets, looking down, and steps forward. I think that this is what this guy does in a tight situation. At Monon High Bridge Trail, he knew what was ready to transpire. He was nervous about that. At the traffic pullover, he knew if he was arrested, he was hit for everything. Genesee County, DELPHI, the 77-year-old, every crime that he had committed where he left DNA and fingerprints, he was hit for. He knew that. Now, pay close attention here. Ah, shit. Hold on. Here we go.
Thomas Bruce 1 month before his alleged Catholic supply store rampage.
It is exclusive video that Fox Files investigator Chris Hayes obtained after his exclusive interview with the road rage victim. Chris?
Manny Vic, Tom Bruce is charged with sexual attacks and murder inside a suburban Catholic store November 19th. 1 month earlier, he was captured having an angry interaction with a Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper. Bruce was driving a 2017 Kia. The victim says Bruce pulled in front of him and slammed on his brakes. Missouri State Highway Patrol then captured dash cam footage with the man who would soon become a murder suspect.
Now watch. Here they are up here. Now this is more than one car length to the front of them. This is the cop with Tom Bruce right behind him. Listen, and watch Thomas Bruce's hands.
I am in a sentence that you work for me. Okay, all right? Do you understand that? I don't work for you. Or yes, you do. I pay your taxes, and you do not work for me. Stand back.
Now, do you see that? He was pointing at the cop when he said, "You do not work for me," with his left hand. Now, if it was me, I would be pointing with my right hand, my dominant hand. Now, watch where he steps back at.
Well, then you step back. All right, you're going to stand right there, and I'm going to bring you over there, right here.
Now, watch when he walks back forward, hands in his pockets, head pointed down.
That's just the beginning of
right there. Hands in pockets, head down. Do you see where I'm at? Now, if he is left-handed, then that would play in. It really, really would. But again, let me go back to the voice, because I think that the voice kind of plays in here a little bit. Oh, hell, I don't even know where that's at. Let me go down. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? No. Shit. Okay. Well, it's somewhere. It's somewhere. However, don't know exactly where. But they're down the hill. Yeah, it sounds exactly like Thomas Bruce, because it should. It is him. It is Thomas Bruce. It always has been. Later, dude. Now, I don't mind somebody coming up and saying, like, oh, it ain't him. But the thing is every single person ever that said it wasn't him, not one of them had any evidence to prove otherwise. They just came on to be a jackass, and that gets you right the fuck out of here. It sends you right on. Right on. Because somebody's going to come on here and say that, you know what their claim would be? No, it's that Chadwell guy, man, over in Lafayette. Hey, are you stupid? Didn't you hear? People are dumb, man. People are dumb. Exactly. It does sound like him. And that was another thing that I remarked when I heard that, because when that came out and I listened to it and seen him walking like that, I'm like, mother humper. I got a route. Okay. I knew he drove. I knew that he was unemployed during that and Evansdale. He filed bankruptcy 1 month before Delphi, resigned from his job, was unemployed. He drove here on the reverse date of Evansdale and committed these actions. When I heard it sounded like it, you know, all of this is Thomas Bruce. All of it. It always has been. Now, you know what? When I was growing up, man, because I was always had an interest in crime, being, solving, or committing, I always had an interest in crime. And I go back, man, and I did, going back some time ago, months and months ago, man, I wrote down most, and I know not all, cases that I looked into over my life, because again, it's like the ones that's been solved, you get something out of, because you see the way that they verified and go through the information. But it's the unsolved ones, you know, like Zodiac. And I'm thinking, with Zodiac, there's a mugshot or a sketch of Zodiac, and he's wearing glasses. Well, he was wearing glasses, like these kind of glasses, at nighttime. And I thought, well, what kind of person would have to wear glasses, clear glasses, at nighttime? Well, they're not reading glasses. And that would tell you something about Zodiac, that he has an eye issue with farsightedness. I never heard anybody ever mention that. Not one time ever. You know, not one time ever. But these are the questions, man, because you got to ask questions and you got to have answers. If you don't have answers, you can't verify answers, well, then it's just a question that you have to, you know, throw away. It does not mean much of anything. Yeah, I wish the cop would have. But the thing is the cop just let him go. It's, nah, you're a little drunk and acting like an idiot, babe. Whatever, man. Go home, dude. You just called me an MFer. That's a free ride home right there. Yeah. You know, if he'd have been arrested, he would have already been tried for Delphi. Would already have been in court for it. Oh, yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I also have Columbo on standby. I've been watching like a Columbo marathon. Ah, shit. Hold on. Let me scroll up. I did see Keanu Reeves up there. Way up there. Yeah, there you go. What's there? Whoa. Keanu Reeves. Should put Keanu Reeves. Like Keanu, man. He played Neo. Matrix is a good movie, man. If you never watched it, remember that. Gotta check it out, dude. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I brought that up. He could be a Mason. And I brought a lot into that, from Friday the 13th, the cop. There's little things that kind of tip off that he could be a Mason. I don't know that he's a Mason. I don't know that he's left-handed, but well, you know what? I gave the 2017 Kia, but the thing is Delphi was done in 2017 in February. Now, I do know that he was out of money by November of 2016, and he would have had to bought that pre-November 2016 to put him into that kind of bankruptcy. I don't think a man buys a new car that's a 2017 to file bankruptcy. That's me. I'm not saying he didn't. I don't know how the guy was financially or what he did, but it didn't seem likely that he would have used that car and still be driving it. Just like they said about the Evansdale case. You know, they said, well, the suspect may have changed the car, changed the color of the car, sold the car. I don't think he would have brought a brand new car to Delphi and then still be driving it around, because he knows that there was people on the road that day that may have seen it parked there at the abandoned CPS building. In fact, over 3 hours, probably many people saw it. Now, for Holman to make mention of St. Louis, it tells me that somebody could have seen his license plate and at least a number. I don't know why, but maybe seeing a Missouri license plate, maybe they thought, you know, maybe they just remembered a number. I have no idea how that plays. I really don't, and I'm not suggesting any theories toward that. But how many miles? Are you talking between St. Louis and Delphi? It's a 4-hour trip from St. Louis to Delphi. Now, the thing is that he's going from Central Time to Eastern Time. Now, here in Indiana, we're on Eastern Time. Now, when he left at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, he loses 1 hour going back into Central. So it's 4 hours on it's 4 hours on a clock, but you lose 1 hour going back into Central Time. By leaving here at 4 hours, losing 1 hour, he would have been home by 6 o'clock p.m. that night. And if it was like really true, he had a dinner date with his wife that night, and I think that's what the FBI probably likely told her to say, because it's part of the investigation, you must understand. Then he could have been there that night very easily for a dinner date, because she would have got home at 5 that evening because she was working at Walmart. I don't think Sean got kicked out. No. I kicked that Tupac dude out. But that's only because he was being a dick. That was my only reasoning. Well, you know, Greeno would do extraordinarily well. Well, no. I can't say that. I really can't say that. He does well with what he does. Greeno is a reporter editor. That's what he does. He films, he edits, he reports. That is the beauty of Greeno. That is what he does. Now, when he was here and we was discussing the case, then the case was ongoing. We went over tooth and nail every little bitty tiny piece of evidence, everything that we could find, anything that we could interview, any information that we had, we went over it 2 years straight, night and day. When we'd go visit friends, we would try not to talk about the case. They'd bring something up. What do you know? We're talking about the case for the next 3 hours. You know, it's been very ongoing. And Greeno knows this case, but Greeno's got one little thing happening. Greeno don't want me to be right on this. Greeno don't want it to be Thomas Jerome Burris. He don't. He does not want that. Because if it is, then he's the one that said, no, it ain't him. Oh, don't tell people I said it was him. And I said, I won't. I'm not going to. I promise I won't. Tried to even give him a piece of that pie, but he don't want that pie. He wants it to be somebody else. It isn't somebody else. It's Thomas Jerome Burris. Period. Yeah, Greeno's very talented. Greeno's a great friend of mine. In fact, I would go as far as to say Greeno's like a brother to me. Like literally. I would probably, I would do more for Greeno than I would probably anybody else on earth. I mean, you know, he's a great friend of mine. I did? Man, I got rid of Sean? What did Sean say? I forget which one Sean was. I just seen the comment and said peace. Well, I'm sorry. I got rid of Sean. I can unban him later, though. I mean, as long as he don't come back and try that stuff again. Okay, so I guess this is the part where if anybody has any questions, throw them up. I'll be happy to answer them as fast as I can. I have not always thought that he did it. No. Quite contraire. When I read the news report that St. Louis had contacted Carroll County concerning Thomas Bruce, that, hey, he looks like your sketch. He committed first-degree murder. He had on the same clothes as Bridge guy had on. Now, also, I want you to think about this. How many people go out and attack multiple people at one time? Multiple people at one time. Not many. I mean, even if you get somebody that wants to go rape somebody, normally it's a woman, but you don't go get two. But this guy, the guy that I feel did it, Evansdale, Delphi, Catholic supply store, that's a total of 7 people in 3 crimes. This guy had never got caught committing a crime before. Now, who goes and does that? All of them were done in the middle of the day. And again, one more time with an FBI statistic. Since 1974, there's been 16 cases of 2 minor girls being abducted and murdered during daylight hours. 16. The statistic says that half of them were done by friends of the family. And I also know that Evansdale and Delphi are unsolved. I believe that they are the same suspect. I've given my similarities and my reasonings why in a separate video. If you don't know them, it is in a separate video. You can find it because they are him. And again, this all goes back to one man. Now, there came a time when I kept looking all this stuff up and I said, no, he drove. I see that now. He drove here. That's what gave me the thing. I'm going back and looking at Evansdale because I know he drove there as well. So there came a time when everything that I was looking for came back positive for him. And it came a point when I said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go look this up. But I already know ahead of time it's going to fit him because it all does. It all fits him. It all fits him because he did it. Completely random. He had no idea they was going to be there. In fact, when he arrived at the trail, sorry, Tylor. Because when he arrived at the trail, they had yet to come up with the idea to go to the trail. He didn't go there. He didn't catfish him. That was done off right away by CSI. They went over every IP address. And not only that, the girls never mentioned it online. Yeah, well, it's not even just that, Tylor. I mean, you can look at it like that. The first one that I can attribute, and this is taking Suzanne Collins out, but if Barry Scheck is right, and I don't think that he's wrong, and TJB was at that base at the time of for a brutal murder, rape and murder, then yes, he is the guy that did it. But I don't know that. I can't verify that. So I can't give that as like something that I came up with. But I can say that if he was, and I believe that he was there, then yes, I would put him as the murderer of her because Sedley Alley said he didn't do it and was coerced into confessing and they murdered him. Now I can go to the letter to the editor where this guy right here, when he was preaching in Jackson County, wrote to an editor and said that he hated to see people die, even for horrendous crimes. He said, also, I don't like the fact that in abortion, they kill babies by calling them fetuses. Well, I know that in the one, he wanted the glory. He didn't want it to be known that he did it, but he wanted it to be thought that, well, a guy did this and we don't know who did it. That kind of keeps it out there that, hey, I did it and got away with it and they don't know who did it. But by killing somebody else who didn't do it, it kind of takes away from him. You see, he was not happy with that. And then it makes me think, because he was a preacher, was he on an opposite side of a dark entity? Was he actually trying to appease a dark entity? That's something that I think about. I can't say that that's true, but I can definitely put it in my mind that it's possible. You know what? We get a lot of people from the UK. Really, I really do, man. I mean, I go back over a year ago. There was a lady that was in the UK, a few. In fact, I got probably 4 or 5 that reached me by email and telephone. And one lady was at work and she said, "We're all here listening to you like it's a podcast." So it's probably not that big there because it is overseas. But the thing is that the case has a lot of interesting parts to it that really drew a lot of people in. There's so much evidence that people wonder, well, why haven't they arrested someone yet? Well, my thought is the guy's been arrested, and he's been arrested for, it will be 3 years this November 21st. So now they couldn't say anything about that. They can't say, well, we know who it is, because everybody say, well, who? How do you know? Well, what did he say? Well, how do you know that it's him? Because they know that they'd have to put up with that shit for until the time he was convicted and they could file charges. So they did not release that. Hold on. Yeah, I got you on that. She never did. Well, she did. She spoke to a paper in St. Louis, and she said that she could not believe that she was dumbfounded that her husband had committed the Catholic supply store, and apologized, profusely to the families and the victims, saying that she had no idea at all that he could even do anything like that. But aside of that, I've never seen any other interview with her. I don't think that she would do an interview. And to even top that off, she divorced him. And that's over a year ago. Yeah, he does, man. Yes, he does. He was married before he married the wife that just divorced him about a year ago. He was married prior to that, and I do know that he at least had one kid. That was a junior. Now, when they divorced, and that was in 1993, while they was living in California at Escondido, San Diego County, she got the kid. So, and believe me, if you're a sadistic serial killer, when you feel powerless, this is when you go commit these actions. Just me talking here, just me thinking, just me speculating. But I believe in or around that time, in and around San Diego County, there were victims. Okay, anything else? I can wrap this up in 2 hours. 2 hours time. Is there cameras in the town he lived in or the restaurant he went to? Hot Shots probably had some kind of security camera. I'm positive that St. Louis had cameras. I mean, like, man, if I go into Kokomo, which is really small compared to St. Louis, there's like a camera on every other, street pole. It's very hard to defeat cameras. Now, I do know the Andersons. Let me get back to this. Let me pull that up real quick. Do it like this. Right here. Well, not right there. Hang on, everybody. Wait a minute. This right here is the abandoned CPS building. This right here is where law enforcement said that the vehicle was parked. You see the trail. It goes right here and turns the corner and goes right to the entrance. I think that people that was at the CPS building likely walked down the trail while they had to wait, maybe. But right here on the front of this building facing outward is a camera. This is Anderson's Grain. Now you can see the trains right here. And a train here because they do grain. And right here on the front of this building outward is a camera. Now, I believe that if that camera was operational, then it got him coming in and his car leaving. I got video of that too, by the way. I'll put it up on there one day. Yeah, Kokomo is a lot bigger than Delphi. Delphi's got a population of 3,500. Kokomo is like, I don't even know, like tens of thousands. Oh. No. He was born in Montrose, Michigan, or in Genesee County, Michigan, and at the time was living in St. Louis. He didn't know Ron Logan. They had never met. Yes, absolutely. I don't think that that would be the murder weapon. I mean, I don't think that he would have murdered the girls with the gun. That would have been a lot of noise, you know, and he didn't want to draw attention to where he was at because he had to walk back to the 501, and where the girls were at the crime scene, you can't see the 501. So if he had made a bunch of noise like that and then started walking back and people were walking to see who was shooting and this and that, he would have been caught. I don't think, but again, that's theory. I don't know, but I would think that a knife would probably be the instrument that was used. I don't know that, just throwing it out there. Yeah, exactly. I think that he used it for duress, but probably used a knife to commit the murder. Because how do you commit a brutal murder with a gun? You know, you shoot somebody and they're dead, but it's not really brutal. Usually if I think brutal murder, man, you're talking like knife, hatchet, that kind of thing. You know, something really brutal. It could have had a silencer. But again, I'm going to ask Katie, if I walk up to somebody and I shoot him with a gun with a silencer, is that brutal? Is that something that law enforcement's going to say, you guys, you didn't see what I seen down there? I'll never forget what I saw down there. Until the day I die, I'll never forget that. You don't say that about a girl that was shot. Do you see where I'm at? I have no idea. Now, I do know that he had a... yeah, 22. Man, let me see. I got to remember that. Yeah, I don't know if he had bows and arrows. He had a 22. I forget the name of the other one. A Sig Sauer and a Bushmaster AR-15. Now, those right there aren't really hunting rifles exactly, but that's not to say that he didn't have other guns. I don't really know the full amount of all of his possessions. Could be. It could be post-mortem brutality, but here's the thing. I mean, like, what do? Shoot someone and then brutalize them? You know, normally speaking, if you're there to commit a brutal murder, you know, like say if I was going to brutally murder someone, I wouldn't go up and then shoot them and then brutalize their body. It could be, but I'm suggesting it probably didn't happen like that. I think once that they were there, then it took place. You know, then it began once they were at the crime scene. You know, that's when it kind of kicked off. Yes. And I am with you. I get it. Everybody thinks, well, they could have been killed with a silencer, and then that explains everything. But it does not fucking explain the brutal murder. It does not explain a brutal murder. You don't decap somebody with a silencer. Besides that, why shoot him with the silencer? Why bring a silencer at all? You got a handgun that gets them to comply. If you got a knife, that's how you're going to do it, then that's the way it's done. Tell me, what's going to be louder? You know, like killing somebody, or, you know, somebody screaming, or, you know, there are too many things in this. Nobody heard shit. Nobody heard anything, because if they did, it would have been known that night. And I am going to repeat law enforcement's words that night. We have searched the trail. We did not find them, and we have found no signs of foul play. If there was any other information that would have gave any other particular evidence, then they would have already been known by law enforcement at that time. And again, to go elsewhere is theorizing upon something that really does not need theory. It could be. Could be. And I say that for this reason. I mean, there is a lot of talk. And again, I don't really listen to talk much, like as far as, unless it may fit something that I believe to be, where I can look at the evidence and say, well, that may fit. I don't know it to be true, but it certainly could fit, just like a video camera. It would fit, but I don't know that it's true. I can't say that that's a video camera. But I look at it like this. Abby's date was given on the 14th. And people say this, well, the family can do that if they want to. And here's the thing. If her body was warm when they found her and she had lived through the night, but she could not respond to a search party, then that would indicate to me serious head trauma. You see where I'm at? So I believe that when the suspect left, he felt both of them were dead. But it would signify, some pretty bad head trauma to kind of comatose her, to put her in a coma, and then die later. So I don't really know, but I don't really put I don't put a lot of thought on the crime itself. Very little. There's very little about what happened at that crime scene that's going to tell me about who did it. Very little. Yeah. Okay, man. You probably just got through watching the Delphi briefing. No, I don't think that there was anything but the shack or a barn. There wasn't even one nearby. Everything was done right there and done really fast. Hold on. Let me back this down a minute. Everything was done right there. Specifically right there. He got him over here. It was done. He walked out to here and was seen right here walking back toward his car by flannel shirt guy. And that was at 2:47 when he was here. The last picture of Abby was taken right here, facing this way. They were abducted here, walked down this way, down this, over to here, killed, I believe, within 20 to 22 minutes, and then he walked out. That's me. Yeah. He said that there was quite a bit of physical evidence, and he said not really the kind you would think, but I also heard that he said non-secular, which would make it spiritual, which fits. I mean, you're looking at a Christian preacher. So yeah, I heard a K in the chest and a bunch of stuff like that. But again, if it doesn't come from law enforcement, then really what we're listening to is like other people's words on it. We don't really know. And if something like that was done, like 666 or something like that, it makes me wonder, as being physical evidence. I mean, I wouldn't know where they would go with that, or, how they would look at that. Yes. And I have said that. I said, if he had a 22, and I know he had a 22 handgun, he may have brought a 22 handgun. It could have been 9mm. You know, it could have been either up. But to either one, if somebody down in that holler where he was at shot at 22, nobody would nobody would care. I mean, it's February. Guys all shooting these 22. I can go outside right now and within 20 minutes I'll hear a neighbor shoot. You know, people shoot all the time. It's Indiana, you know. The shack reference was a mention of the movie The Shack, and that was for the family. If they thought that it had anything to do with The Shack, they're not going to subliminally tell you what they know. Period, Sandy. They're not going to tell you that. It was a movie that Doug Carter brought up because it was for the family. That's where The Shack is and ends. Very brazen. Yeah, exactly. And I think that that's the alcohol. I think in every single crime that he's committed like this, he was under the influence. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Exactly. It is. It's a depression. Now, if I go out there and and when me and Donnie went out there, I got like an entire scape of the surroundings. And like right there where the creek's here, and of course the land's above the creek a bit, but then the land's flat, but it's got a giant 70-foot wall, like you're kind of in half of a bowl, you know, where it goes like that, where you're in. But it surrounds everything from the west side of you all the way back to the east side of you. So I know the FBI was there, but the FBI was there on the 14th before the girls were found. And that struck me as odd. I said, why would the FBI be there before the girls are found? They're missing, and they hadn't even been missing 24 hours yet. So why would they arrive? It would seem like it was more of a state operation, not FBI. But then I was tipped later that, of course, because they already kind of suspected the whole thing of, look, this is identical. 2 girls, small trail, small town, highway, reversible date. This is very much like another crime. And if it is foul play, we want fresh evidence. And I think that that's why they had an agent there on the 14th before the girls were found. And what happened? The FBI went in and got CSI, helped with the investigation, and also did forensics. Thank you. Well, any physical aspects you would take pictures of if you're law enforcement. I mean, think about that. He's not saying it was like pretty that you would take a picture of it. It's something that you would need to take a picture of so that, you know, you have it. You know it. You're not forgotten. There's multiple things that may connect. You wanted to understand all of them, how they happen, when they happen, the direction, the footsteps. CSI is like a big area, man. They go in and pretty much can tell the movement and the thing of everything, exactly how it went down. No, he hasn't, but I don't know that he can. Dr. Oz did a show with the Delphi about the Delphi murders with the family. It had Nancy Grace on it. And if anybody knows anything about Nancy Grace and how to get her off the air, that would be doing the world a wonderful favor. That lady is a retard. Yeah, he is. He is. It's a fact. Yeah, well, you know what? I would advise, well, you know, really, I mean, if you watch Dr. Oz, also watch Dr. Phil, because he was they were on there as well. And I think that Dr. Phil really had a lot of information on it by Mike Patty. You know, he's the one that was talking about Flannel Shirt Guy when he was coming in, when the suspect was leaving. You know what? Another thing on that. Hold on. I might have it right here. Hold on. Can I go back?
Oh, saving it for...
No. Oh. Yeah, that's my friend Kevin Page. I was in basic training with him. He made it in the video. Oh, shit. I just got demonetized for that, I'll tell you. Never should have threw the video on there. But there, I think that there is a reason that he was wearing all those clothes on such a beautiful day, man. I think it was the fact that he knew what was going to happen. He knew what he wanted to do. He knew that that was going to be very bloody. And if he got any blood all over his clothes, he would have clothes to change out of and then put back in over the top of them. You see where I'm at, to cover any blood. Yeah, Nancy's just, oh, hey, Carl Jones. How you doing, man? Hanging in there, I hope. Yeah. You know what, man? Me and Greeno, man, we watched that because we had covered that so many times, man. So many times, you know, that there is no man behind that tree. That tree is on a cliff, literally a cliff. You can't just go there and stand. And there's Dr. Oz. You see that right there? Is that a man behind the tree? Looks like a man behind that tree. You know, and me and Greeno were just repeating that all day because we knew it was dumb. We knew Nancy Grace was sensationalizing. We knew that they was on there, and she's acting like a complete asshole about this, man. Sensationalizing it for money. And I thought somebody needs to grab that lady, pull her off the air, fire her ass, and sue her to the ground. Oh, no problem. That was back in the 80s, from 85 to late 88. Yeah, military police. Yeah, and it could be. I mean, I can't say either way, you know, whether they were reversible. But, I mean, look at it. It was a beautiful day. He's a little overweight. Not only does he have a hoodie and a jacket, I mean, you can tell he's puffed with clothes and his pockets are full. I mean, I think that he brought everything that was needed, but also he, you know, anything that was on that, he could have took off the jacket. Anything that got on the other, he could have turned it out, turned it back around, put the jacket over it and zipped it back up and been safe from having blood all over him. You know, it's just a maybe. I don't know that, but it seems like it fits. Yeah, but man, believe me, if I was any of them, people would not listen to anything I had to say. I mean, man, they're on there. They're really shooting for views. Man, no different than Maury Povich. No different than, who was that other white trash guy? Jerry Springer. You know, any of those, man, it's just white trash garbage. I haven't owned a television in over 20 years and never will. Because, man, watching television will fuck your mind up. You'll believe anything if you believe television. Literally, anything. You'll believe it. All I got to do is say it right. You'll believe it. Man, if she goes to church, man, I'm surprised she don't burn when she walks in the door. No problem, man. Thank you very much, Carl Jones, and everybody. You know what? I've been here for over 2 hours, man. I'd like to thank everybody, man, all viewers, all people who liked, and if you haven't liked, man, hit that thumbs up, man. You got a second on my invisible watch. Go now. Hit the thumbs up, man. I appreciate that. All donators, and seriously, man, you guys rock, man. You guys just really handed my channel like quite a bit of money today, and I can use that for upgrades. I really will. So got that. I want to thank every one of you donators and all viewers, all mods, and everybody that came to take us in. If you did not catch the question, go back and rewatch the beginning of this, because I think this is a very important question. And it's one that I want some answers to. So if you do even have a comment on that question, that is my email right there. Mr. Katt, K-A-T-T, 420 at gmail.com. Reach me right there with any comments or anything that you may have on the question, and I will answer you. I answer all emails. And with that, everybody, man, thanks for being here, man. I will catch you in my next video. Peace, everybody.